Hi guitar mates, I do hope you're doing well. In this lesson we are looking at Bringing on the Heartbreak by Def Leppard. Bringing on the Heartbreak was the second single from the 1981 album High and Dry, and this track clearly shows the direction that Def Leppard were heading and set the stage for the album Paramania. This video we are looking at the dual guitar intro and that wonderful arpeggiated guitar section by Steve Clarke. Now the entire lesson, including backing track and tablature, is available on my Guitar Mates channel, and you can find that link down below. Right, let's get the ball rolling. What I'm going to do first of all is look at that dual harmony intro section. First of all, I'm going to feature what would have been played by Willis, which is the main theme that you're hearing. So this is the kind of the direct line and not the harmony line that we're going to be playing, and it goes like this. Nice little melodic line there. Let's just break it down. Quite simple. We're going to be starting off on the G string. We're going to play the 5 to the 7 and then cross directly over to the B5 and then back down to the G5. Repeat that opening line again where we're going to do the 5-7 on the G to the 5 on the B. This time he's going to jump down and he's going to go to the 7th fret on the D string, which is the A note. Go back and we play that little line, the 5-7 to the 5 across on the B. Now he's got a couple of nice little kind of tasteful bends going on here. He's on the 8th fret on the B string, and we're going to do a quick bend and then followed by a little slow bend. Did you get that? So you just slow that bend down on the second one. Use his little finger to pick up the 8th fret on the high E string. Then we got the bend again on the 8th fret, and we're going to then come down out of the 8 and then go to the 5 on that B string. And then we've got this kind of triplet feel, triplet quarter feel. Because you're just playing there, he's got 8 on the B, to the 6, to the 5. So again, with that quarter triplet. Then we've got 7th fret on the G string, and we're going to play this line. She's just a G7. Cross, first finger plays the 5 on the B. Back to the 7. Now I switch here, go across my little finger because of the next couple of notes that are coming up. So I'm playing that 7 there with my little finger on the G. Down to the 4 on the G, and then resolving back out on to the 5th fret. Right, let's have a look at the second harmony, and it goes something like this. Okay, exact same phrasing, we're just going to play different notes. So we're going to start off on the G on the 9th fret, and we're going to go across to the B string, 10 and 12. And then back to that G9. Next one, we're going to start again on the G, going to the 10 on the B, across with my little finger to the 12 on the high E string. And this time we're going back to the G10. So now we go back to the G9 and then to the B, 10 and 12. Like that. And now we're going to slide down. So you can hear that little slide down with the finger. He's going then across to the G7 and he's going to do full tone bends like we did previously. Little finger picks up B8. Another bend on that G7 to the 5 on the G, and then we're going to finish it off. We go to G9, G7, G5, and then we got 4, 5 on the G, back to the 4, down to D5, finishing on the D7. So that is the harmony. So now we are going to look at that wonderful arpeggiated sequence recorded by Steve Clarke, which to me is the standout part of this entire song. Really does sound good and it's fun to play. And it goes something like this. That is a real challenge to get that right when you're playing it and recording at the same time. But let's break it down stage by stage. First of all, we're playing through what would be an A sus2 chord. But as usual, Steve is going to play this different. We're starting off on the open A string and we're going to play... He's just moving down that A, so he's playing open A and then 2 and 2 on the D and the G. Now, what he does, he picks up the 5, use his little finger here, he's picking up the 5 on the D string, and he's gotten this. So we get like that, back to the 2. Now, some people, you can flick it if you do like that, or just pick it like that. So open A, 2 on the D, 2 on the G, and then 5 on the D, back to the 2 on the D. Now you're going to move up your first finger to D3, and I put my third finger, sorry, I'll put my little finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and what you're going to play is the... So I'm playing 3rd fret on the D, 5th fret on the G string, and then I've got an open B string. So open B, back to the G5. So that's that next part. Now we are going to move our first finger. This is the reason I use my little finger here, because I've got to move that first finger back to the D2, and we get this line. So I'm playing the open A, 2 on the D, little finger's taking care of the 5 on the G, back to the 2 on the D string. Now we're going to move our 3rd finger. I move my 3rd finger here to the 3rd fret on the low E string, and we're going to play, just playing through a G there, but again arpeggiating. He's playing 3rd fret on the low E string, open B, open G, and then back to the 3rd fret on the low E string. Now the next part, I found this the most challenging part to play this part, just because of the stretch. We are going to play this, though. Now, what I'm playing there, I'm playing the 1st fret on the low E string, and then I'm going to the 2. I use my 2nd finger to play the 2nd fret on the G string. 3rd finger is reaching B3, and then we go back to the 2 on the G. So we've got, sounds easy enough, but what we've got to make sure now is that we get clearance on that string beneath our 3rd finger, because we're going to play back down through that chord from the E string. You heard that there. Getting that, so you've got that open E, back to the B3, to the G2, and then the open D. That is the hard part, to come from that. Ooh, see. That's where the challenge is, and you can see the issues I've been having. I used to try and play it with my little finger and my 3rd finger, but just really wasn't working for me. So getting that one was better. That really does take a little, well, for me, it did take a lot of practice to get that to come from that G to play into that. Making sure that open strings ring out. Let's move on. We are then going to play 1st fret. This is where we move our 1st finger down to the 1st fret on the E string. You can get this. What I'm just playing there, that's through a B flat chord there. But I'm playing 1st fret on the high E string, and then I use my 3rd finger or 2nd finger to play B3 and G3. And then back to the B3. Then I'm going to take my 2nd finger, I'm going to play that, slide up from the G3 to G4. Then 1st finger plays the 3 on the B string, open E string, and back to the 3. So that final part. And then we back to. It sounds really, really nice, but some of them stretches do take a little bit of time, just trying to get them nice, clear and precise. The good news is, of course, we don't have to play it too fast. Do have some fun going through that section, because it really is worth it, just getting that really nice sound. Of course, you can hear the sound. If you'd watched one of my previous videos, Fooling, of course by Def Leppard, I'm using that same setting. I'm using the Architect Plini X, and it's just got some great delays and some great reverbs in that. It just sounds wonderful. So that is that opening section, that arpeggiated section. Now you're going to play that 10 times, because you've got an intro where you play the section at the beginning, and then you've got the verses running through. So you've got quite a few of them to play through.